All right, hey, we are here live and also not live at WordCamp Orange County 2016. My name is Say Reed, and I'm here with Kari Leigh. Hello, Kari Leigh.
Hi, Dawn.
Hi. Tell me, Kari Leigh, your name and your hashtag. Not your hashtag, your handle. Your name and your handle.
I have a hashtag, too.
You have a hashtag? Tell me your hashtag.
WP Photo Project.
There you go.
Kari Leigh Marucchi. My handle is Found Art Photog on Twitter.
Found.photog.
Found Art.
Found Art.
Photog.
This is why I asked her to say it, because I could not remember what it was. That's okay. It's a mouthful. Found Art Photog. So speaking of WP Photo Project, you are, wait, hold on. Let's hold these up. I just want to hold these up real quick. So, well, I'm going to ask you some leading questions first, then we'll get to talking about these beauties right here. So tell me a little bit about how you came to WordPress, your WordPress witnessing story, if you will.
Oh, yeah. Well, my boyfriend at the time was doing some cool things on the computer and not paying enough attention to me. So I was like, oh, what's that? And I thought, oh, well, I can help with that. And that's the wonderful thing about WordPress, right, is that, you know, if you got a brain in your head and a little bit intuitive and curious and a little technical, you can start from nothing and create something, create a business, create a new thing out of yourself, out of your life, and a new way to support yourself. And that's what we did. We started a business and grew it into an agency and kept going. And my life's evolved from there. But I'm in love with WordPress because of where it can take anybody from the bottom.
Yeah, from the ground up.
Yeah, ground up, yeah.
So what was your first experience with the WordPress community as opposed to the WordPress software?
I don't remember how I heard about WordCamp 2012 San Francisco. I don't remember, but I remember seeing this thing somehow. I heard of it, and I said to my partner at the time, I said, I think this is important. I have a feeling. And I bought a couple tickets, and he couldn't go. We were so busy, but I peeled away. And I took my brother, went up to San Francisco from LA, and so I met Malone Wig Talk there and experienced the community and went, yeah, this is important. I took it back to our company, and real soon after, that's when I went to WordCamp 2012 Los Angeles, and I saw
where
you
we
speak.
met.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Say Reed, I'm gonna prop you up right now.
Oh.
Okay. That was the second WordCamp I'd ever been to, and Say Reed's talk, 2012 Los Angeles, is still amongst my top 10 favorite talks of all time, and I think I'm on my 32nd WordCamp or something at this point.
32nd. That's a lot of talks. That's a lot of WordCamps and a lot of talks. That's a lot of listening to talks. That's pretty exciting. It was the cupcakes. I just want you to know that.
No,
okay.
It was the Shakespeare, honey.
Oh, it was the Shakespeare. Shakespeare always kills them.
Talk was freaking brilliant.
Well, so
I was drooling and smiling and misting, and I was like, thank you for speaking to my soul. Techie and literature. And it was awesome. Good
Hitting
job.
all the buttons.
Yes.
So speaking about that, so that was your second WordCamp ever. And then basically you've just been ramping up since then. And as of late, as of this year, you have started a new project that is basically focused around WordCamps.
Yeah, it's been a year and a half. I've been taking photography to WordCamps and shooting them as comprehensively as I can. A lot of them I've actually gotten 100% of the speakers, which is, I love that challenge. I go for it.
That is a challenge. There are some strangely organized rooms at some of these WordCamps.
Thank you, Miami and San Diego and Vienna and no, I appreciate what the speakers bring so much, and for me, it's something I found that I love to do. It's a challenge I enjoy to take as good as I can, great photos of speakers, and then give them to them as something they can use to promote their sharing of their expertise, their contribution to the community, and it helps project their value and vitality to their customers. And so I want to do this full time, and so I have been for the last year and a half, and I'm turning a project, the WP Photo Project, where the end goal is to eventually build a central repository of still photography that represents WordCamp culture, eventually reaching back all the way into the past, back to the first beginnings of WordCamp.
Get an archival.
Yes, total documentarian, historianist. You know, all that. Because we've created together a culture. in WordCamps. And yes, I only hit it in 2012, but man, when I hit that first one, I felt, you could feel the power of the community just walking into any of these camps. And that's so attractive to newbies, and I think that the whole community being something that wraps itself around people new to WordPress is part of the magic, and so beautiful because we're helping. What is that phrase? That a rising tide floats all boats? And that's so freaking, yes.
That's really beautiful.
That's really beautiful. That's really beautiful. So
we are the rising tide.
Yeah, we are the rising tide. And I want to be a part of this, and I want to nurture the health, vitality, and the bonding of this community. So that's what I bring to it, and I'm going to keep this going as long as I can.
So you've created an interesting model, and I'm always very interested in how the businesses around WordPress structure themselves. You are basically working off of a sponsor model and getting all of the same kind of sponsors and businesses that are involved in supporting WordCamps, and they're extending into that and supporting you as well, and that is because you are basically, everyone's kind of just participating in this community thing. So how's that experience been for you?
Well, complicated. Complicated because it's been a discovery. I've been working closely with Central to make sure that how I behave and how I promote, how I interact with organizers and the camps, and how I publish is cooperative with central policy and it feeds the community rather than creates complication with copyright and other people who might want to do what I do. Great. So they've let me know I can't be paid by the camp organizers because it would be a slippery slope, because then how many people would want to be paid for photography for WordCamps when really when we come to a WordCamp we're here as volunteers, right?
Right.
We're speaking as volunteers, we're organizing as volunteers, so it has to be a straight model of I technically am a volunteer to a camp, but I am sponsored by the companies and the freelancers and boutique firms that want to invest in that particular community. So I'm fundraising most of the time. But then when I'm here, I'm in pure gift-giving mode. I am taking portraits of people that they use for the avatars to promote themselves and their businesses and their social media. I'm giving the speakers a set of photography that they can use. I'm giving the sponsors, without prejudice, team photos and swag photos and things that they can do to promote their business as being, as a gift for contributing to this community. So
it's kind of like open source photography.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is
all right. That's awesome. So you're really embracing the ethos of WordPress and extending that to this into the business model, yes, and into your medium, yes, in general.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really exciting, and I think this is part of seeing kind of the new ways that people can take what WordPress is doing and the WordPress community and extend it kind of beyond that. Yeah. So what is your fundraising? Obviously is a challenge, but other than that, in terms of being a part of WordCamp's volunteering, have you done any organizing at all?
No. Well, okay. I've wanted to for years. Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember meeting Andrew Middleton in WordCamp Phoenix a handful of years ago or something, and I'm like, yeah, I want to do this. She's like, yeah, cool. And we talked about it for a long time. I want to maybe organize LA or something like that. And I kept meaning to, but I was in a startup phase for a long time, and there just really wasn't time. So when I had finally, I'd left that company, I'd been taking care of a family member in Atlanta, and WordCamp Atlanta was coming up, and I was like, okay, I now have a little bit more time. My family member is getting better. A WordCamp's coming up. I can contribute. But I wasn't ready to go back as a business person. So I actually went through the process of how do I go back, and I'll bring my camera. And it just, I couldn't stop shooting. I couldn't stop shooting. And then the response to the photography was outstanding. And it was a clear sign, this is the gift I can give. So I love project management. I love event management, and I'll help any way I can. But there's lots of people who do that, and I know that I do. This is semi-unique thing that I love to do and give. So I'm going to stick with this for as long as possible.
That's great. I think that really speaks also, Mendel from GoDaddy, that really does also speak to the kind of contribute what you can model that I think people are really getting into. It's not just about committing code. It's not just about organizing an event. There are tons of ways you can participate, and that just strengthens the community. So I think you're a really great example of that. Cool. So you've been doing this for a year and a half. Yeah. I know you had said maybe WordCamp US would be kind of the last one you do with this project.
Hey, I'm very open to somehow.
So there are no limitations necessarily.
No, but in terms of me making sure that what I do for WordCamps has a healthful, balanced place in my life, I'm looking at restructuring how I do that. But every time I do an iterative restructure, some new angel comes in or some new proposition comes in, and it just keeps evolving. So I'm not going to make any promises to anyone about what this is not going to look like in 2017. I'm very, very open to it. Let's say at the worst, at the end of US, I will package everything I've done over the previous 2 years and make sure it's published powerfully, full of metadata, so it's super hyper findable into the future. Metadata is sexy.
Metadata is sexy.
Really. Because metadata, can I just talk about metadata for half a second?
Please.
Okay, really, because we're all here with our cell phones. We're taking thousands of pictures at every WordCamp, and some people bring their DSLRs, and we're tweeting those and Facebooking those, but then they're gone. And if you pack them with those files with the metadata and publish them, then they're findable in the future. And that's part of what takes me so long to process. And I mean, other people are, hey, I've already published my pictures, but how's the metadata on those files, right?
How's your metadata? What's your metadata look like?
So I pack them full of the metadata, and I got so excited about metadata. Please do process pictures with metadata. That's what we're talking about.
Well, basically, so I was talking about the future of WP Photo Project, but it sounds to me like it's kind of mirroring. You'll package it.
That's right. I'm going to document my whole process. I'm going to document the plan for my vision for WP for WordPress.photo, and make sure that Central has that. And maybe somebody will pick it up in the future, or maybe at some point they'll go, yeah, let's do that. But right now, I think my major process is just making sure I'm doing this in as a lifestyle and putting it in its proper place so that I can make whatever I do sustainable.
So it sounds to me that the WP Photo Project is taking kind of the same tack that a lot of businesses that work with WordPress take, which is like, we're just going to kind of see where this goes, because you don't necessarily know where the code is going. Right. You don't necessarily know where that's going. What you know of WordPress and the code, what are you most excited about coming up besides finishing and shooting? Yeah, besides your project, because that's pretty exciting. But instead of finishing up that project and getting that done. But in terms of the grander community or the greater community, what are you really looking forward to or excited about, or what do you hear that people are really excited about coming up in the next year?
Well, I was talking to someone today about my talk in 2012, which really wasn't good, and yours was so brilliant. But I was thinking about it, and my theme was talking about the future of technology and what designing for those possible futures will look like. And part of what's so exciting about being in this industry, what I've enjoyed for the last 7 years about being this, is it's evolving so quickly, and we'll be going into more and more virtual things. My brother just built a virtual reality computer, and I think I've lost him forever because he's like, gotta get home and put the goggles on, But how is what we do with WordPress applications and our WordPress site? How is that going to be adjusting for the new technologies? You're doing Snapchat. This camp is doing the Snapchat filter this week. I'm not even on Snapchat yet, and I'm thinking, all right, it's time for me to take that new thing on. What am I excited about? I'm excited about continual evolution, and I'm excited about being part of a community that's excited and totally into continual evolution.
So the future, you're in the future. You're excited about the future.
Absolutely.
That's pretty exciting.
I own that.
Yeah,
I totally own that.
So you're basically excited to see what's happening and what's coming up.
Right, and you notice I get bored easily. You get bored easily.
I don't know what you're talking about. Huh? Oh, hi. I'm here. All right. Well,
and that's what we all love learning here.
Yeah.
We come together because we're people who love learning.
And we want to see what's happening in the future. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Kari Leigh, thanks for talking to me. Check out Found Art Photog on all the things, and check out the hashtag WP Photo Project and all of her amazing photos that she's been taking for the past year and a half. It's a lot of stuff, so check it out. They're really awesome. And yeah, that's it. See you in a bit. Ciao.